about the different rules of differentiation and the derivative of a function. So come on, let's go! Let's roll!
Okay, so first, let us have the derivative of a function. To find the derivative of a function, you must first use the limit process. So the derivative of f of x is equal to the limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So let us have an example. We have here the function 2x squared minus 16x plus 35. First, plug in the function to the formula of the derivative of a function. After plugging in the function to the formula, multiply everything out and distribute the minus sign through the second term. So now we have 4xh plus 2h squared minus 16 over h. Next, factor out h of the numerator and cancel the h in the denominator. After that, compute the limit and we are left with 4x minus 16.
Today, we're gonna learn about the product rule. So, what is the product rule? According to the product rule, d over d of x and f of x times g of x equals to f prime times g of x plus g prime f of x. Today, we want to find the derivative of x plus 5 times x cubed plus 6x. So, what do we do to find the derivative? To find the derivative of the given, we need to use the product rule. So, given f prime of x times g of x plus g prime of x times f of x. So, we have first here, we will find the derivative of f of x, which is x plus 5, multiplied to g of x, which is x cubed plus 6x, plus the derivative of g of x, which is x cubed plus 6x, times f of x, which is x plus 5. So, we have 1, which is the derivative of f of x, times x cubed plus 6x, plus the derivative of g of x, which is 3x squared plus 6 times x plus 5. One times x cubed plus 6x is equal to x cubed plus 6x, and then 3x squared plus 6 times x plus 5, we will use the FOIL method. So 3x squared times x is 3x cubed, and then 3x squared times 5 is equals to 15x squared, and then 6 times x is 6x, and then 6 times 5 is equals to 30. We will combine all the like terms. So we have x cubed plus 3x cubed, which is 4x cubed, plus 6x, and then another 6x, so we have plus 12x, and then 15x squared, and then plus 30. So after we combined all the like terms, we now have the derivative of x plus 5 times x cubed plus 6x. So the derivative is 4x cubed plus 15x squared plus 12x plus 30. So that is it for product rule.
Quotient rule is a method of finding the derivative of a function that is ratio of two differentiable functions. Here is an example of it: 6x minus 3 all over x squared minus 2. First, you need to take note that the numerator of the function is the f of x and the denominator is the g of x. In our problem, f of x is the 6x minus 3 and the g of x is x squared minus 2. We will need this later on in plotting the functions into the formula. Let us go back to the formula of the quotient rule. The derivative of f of x multiplied by g of x minus the derivative of g of x multiplied by f of x all over g of x squared. Next, you need to solve the derivative of f of x and the derivative of g of x. We know that our f of x is 6x minus 3. With the use of power rule and the constant rule, the answer would be 6. And we also know that our g of x is x squared minus 2. Again, with the use of power and constant rule, the derivative of g of x is 2x. After getting all the derivatives, you plot them into the quotient formula. So that would be 6 multiplied by x squared minus 2 minus 2x multiplied by 6x minus 3 all over x squared minus 2 raised to the power of 2. After that, you distribute the derivative of the function f of x to the g of x. So the answer would be 6x squared minus 12. And you copy the other terms. After that, distribute the derivative of the function g of x to the f of x. So the answer would be 12x squared minus 6x. Then you distribute the negative sign into the terms. So that would be 6x squared minus 12 minus 12x squared plus 6x all over x squared minus 2 raised to the power of 2. Lastly, you combine the like terms, but you don't have to simplify the denominator. So, the derivative of 6x minus 3 all over x squared minus 2 is negative 6x squared plus 6x minus 12 all over x squared minus 2 raised to the power of 2.
The chain rule is a method or way for finding the derivative of composite functions. It has the formula of the derivative of f of g of x multiplied by the derivative of g of x. Let's have an example. With the function f of x equals 3x squared minus 3x plus 9 raised to 1/2. To get the derivative of the function, we first get the derivative of the whole function, followed by the derivative of the inner function, which is 3x squared minus 3x plus 9. We then bring down 1/2 and subtract its exponent with 1 multiplied by 6x minus 3. Then, if we subtract this, it will then become negative 1/2. After we do this, we put this below, so its negative exponent can now become positive. Thus, it will then become 6x minus 3 all over 2 multiplied by 3x squared minus 3x plus 9 raised to 1/2. Since the exponent 1/2 is equal to the square root, the derivative of f of x will then be 6x minus 3 over 2 square root of 3x squared minus 3x plus 9.
So for today, we are going to teach you everything you need to know about combination rules and how to solve some of them. So first, when will you use combination rules? We apply combination rules to find the derivatives of problems that requires the use of 2 or more rules. Now, let's get on with it and try to solve this problem that I'm going to show. Can you guys try and guess what are the rules we are going to use to solve the problem? So our problem is f of x is equals to 9x raised to 4 minus 18x cubed plus 12x squared minus 4x plus 9. As you guys can see, we need to use the rules for finding the derivatives of the sum of functions and finding the derivatives of the difference of functions. The first step that we are going to do is change the sign of f of x to d over dx to indicate that we are going to find the derivative of the equation. After that, we are going to apply the power rule to the first 4 terms and the constant rule to the last term. So for the power rule, we need to remember that we are going to multiply the exponent of x to the constant that it is with. After that, we are going to subtract 1 to the exponent. For the constant rule, we need to remember that the derivative of any constant is 0. So the final answer is this.
That's all!